The Sith Emperor in the Star Wars Old Republic MMORPG was initially a mystery, a hooded figure in the shadows that even the highest ranking Sith officials on the Dark Council were hardly in contact with him. He was the mastermind behind the Mandalorian Wars, the Jedi Civil War in KOTOR 1 and 2, and he was supposedly killed at the end at the Jedi Knight storyline, only to be resurrected at the end of Shadow of Revan, started another planetary destruction on Zyos. Yet, the next time we see him is another persona, an eternal Emperor of Zaku. So, what gives exactly? What were his goals? In the Revan novel and the Old Republic game, the Sith Empire was a remnant of the Sith, who fled to the unknown regions during the Great Hyperspace War 1,000 years earlier, roughly 5,000 years before the Battle of Yavin. The one we know as the Sith Emperor Vitiate was initially born on Madras, where he grew in power and killed his father. He became an acolyte under the Sith Lord Marka Ragnos, was given a planet to rule on Nathema. Like many of his peers and superiors, Vitiate craved the very same thing: power and immortality. Vitiate conducted a ritual on the planet Nathema, draining the life out of the many Sith he lured there toward the end when they were being defeated by the Jedi. Over the years, he will continue to conduct many of such similar rituals to grow his power and extend his life, while strengthening his empire, preparing to invade the Republic. He initially tricked the Mandalorians into going to war with the Republic, and then turned Revan and Malak, the war heroes of the Republic, into its very conquerors. Both these wars were meant to weaken the Republic, so that the galaxy is left open for conquest. He then waited 300 years after the events of KOTOR 2 before the Sith returned for some reason. On the sides, he also had an alternate extragalactic empire centered around the planet of Zaku, a thriving utopia of automation ruled by a benevolent emperor that everybody loves and is fiercely loyal to. You can attribute this lack of consistency to terrible writing, but what about the in-universe explanation? Vitiate did not immediately attack the Republic after KOTOR 1 and 2 because Revan was somehow influencing him to delay that invasion. He was using Revan as a siphon for his power, and therefore Revan actually can influence the Emperor as well. But even the Prodigal Knight could only delay the inevitable. As for the Eternal Empire side project that he had going on, well, apparently sometime down the line, he got bored of Sith ideology and bored of being Sith Emperor that he decided to create his own other empire, which he felt was much better than the conventional Sith Empire. Funny how a so-called Eternal Empire only lasted a few years after his death, so not so eternal after all. They say that the price for immortality is high, and I believe this applies to Vitiate as well. Growing old and ancient, with so much power, does mess with his head. He thinks he's a god, infallible, and treats others as animals. We learned in Echoes of Oblivion that he will always take up a new host each time he supposedly dies, and each time he will carry a new persona, but not the memories. That will explain the vastly different images and personalities of Emperor Vitiate and Emperor Valkorin. But as an ancient being with such power, to him everything is but an experiment. It may seem interesting at first, marrying Sanya Terral, starting an empire, leading an ancient civilization into greatness, into great technological advantage. He grew bored of it, and eventually that's why he abandoned his children in the first place. All of these is just another toy for him to play with and throw away into the trash heap when he doesn't enjoy it any further. Which actually sounds a bit like how EA treated this game. So in the end, it's pretty simple really. Vitiate attained all he wanted to, power and immortality, but could not find satisfaction in it. And whatever he tried to do, he could not find fulfillment. And therefore, he grew bored and decided to play around even more. A while back, I did a few fan fictions involving Valkorion meeting other Sith Lords, such as Sidious and the Father from the Clone Wars. So if that's something that interests you, do check it out. And you would like to see more things related to Star Wars, the Old Republic, or some animations or artificial intelligence, do check out the rest of my channel.